Hi, Laura Poland, dietitian in your kitchen. Welcome to lesson 6, where we'll be covering the many health benefits and ways to incorporate seeds, nuts, and healthy fats into our diets. This lesson will be structured like previous lessons. We will start by reviewing the objectives, then we'll cover nutrition and culinary lessons, and then you'll complete a knowledge check to ensure learning goals are being met. You will then be able to watch cooking demos that will bring what you've learned in this lesson to life in your kitchen. We'll then wrap up this lesson by setting a personal goal. Here are the objectives for Lesson 6. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to demonstrate knowledge of a variety of seeds and nuts and their impact on health. Identify different fats, their health benefits, and different uses in cooking. Apply knowledge of various cooking techniques in preparing recipes made with seeds, nuts, and healthy fats. Apply knowledge of proper storage of seeds and nuts. And then finally, using seeds and nuts in a variety of recipes. So let's jump in. Let's start with looking at what seeds are. Seeds contain all of the nutrients that are necessary to promote plant growth. Because of this, they are very nutrient dense and offer many health benefits beyond consuming the adult plant. Seed crops do not use many environmental resources, but provide a lot of nutrition. Seeds offer many nutrients, including protein, fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. Some seeds require you to grind them to access the nutrients other than the fiber. Remember, fiber is not absorbed in the body. Here are some examples of the most healthful seeds. Flax seeds contains fiber, protein, potassium, omega-3s, and lignans, which are antioxidants. A flaxseed must be ground to ensure the absorption of the nutrients, and we recommend refrigeration with flax seeds. Pumpkin seeds, also known as pepitas, these contain many nutrients including zinc and magnesium, as well as manganese, iron, and copper. They are versatile and delicious. Lightly toasted or raw, you can add it to salad as well as grain dishes. It's not necessary to grind pepitas. They can be eaten whole. Just chew them well. Hemp seeds are also known as hemp hearts. They contain the most protein of any seed. They also offer vitamin E, potassium, and omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. They have a nutty flavor that's delicious in veggie burgers or sprinkled on salads or in oatmeal. Again, it's not necessary to grind hemp seeds. Chia seeds are tiny little black seeds that contain a rich amount of omega-3 and fiber. In fact, just 1 tablespoon of chia seeds has 5 grams of fiber. Chia seeds can be used as a vegan egg substitute in baking or cooking. To get the equivalent of 1 egg, you whisk together 1 tablespoon of chia seed with 3 tablespoons of a liquid and let it sit to gel. The gel that forms then acts as a binder like egg in recipes. Sesame seeds contain fiber and many minerals including copper, calcium, selenium, and many more. Sesame seeds are commonly ground up into a paste you might have heard of called tahini, and this is used in dishes found in the Middle East and Mediterranean region. Think hummus. Watermelon seeds are a good source of minerals like magnesium, copper, potassium, and manganese. Recently, it has been used as an allergy-free seed butter, and it's becoming increasingly available in grocery stores and available online. All right, botanically speaking, nuts have a hard shell that contain both the fruit and the seed of the plant. Nuts provide protein, healthy fats, fiber, antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins. Each variety provides different amount of these nutrients, and that is why variety is important when you're choosing which nuts to consume. Nuts are cardioprotective, meaning they are good for the heart health. They decrease the risk of hypertension, decreased blood pressure, and bad cholesterol. Having nuts as a part of a healthy diet may also decrease your risk of type 2 diabetes. Yet another health benefit of nuts is that they may decrease the risk of certain cancers. All right, well, we do need to talk a little bit about food allergies when we talk about nuts and seeds. To start, a food allergy is when you have the same response to consumption of a food every single time. So tree nuts are a common food allergy in both children and adults. Tree nuts include but are not limited to almond, Brazil nuts, cashews, chestnuts, coconuts, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, pecans, pine nuts, pistachios, and walnuts. Coconuts, botanically speaking, are not a tree nut, but the FDA does list it as a tree nut. So if a person is allergic to one tree nut, they may not be allergic to all tree nuts. One thing to note, peanuts are not a tree nut, but a legume, and they grow underground. Being allergic to peanuts does not mean that you will be allergic to other legumes or tree nuts. If someone has a tree nut or a peanut allergy, they may still be able to consume refined oil from that nut. This is because the allergic reaction is actually in response to the protein, not the oil in the food. In fact, the FDA does not require that a refined peanut oil be labeled as an allergen. Tree nuts and peanuts are known to be one of the most potent allergenic foods in terms of the amount required to elicit a response, as well as the severity of reactions that can occur. Allergy often entails severe multisystemic and respiratory symptoms, and occasionally fatal anaphylactic reactions. However, most frequent symptoms are skin reactions. Individuals may also have allergies to seeds. While this is generally less common, sesame seeds are now listed as one of the FDA's 9 major allergens and will be required to be listed on food labels as of January 2023. Now let's discuss the different types of fat that exist. There are 3 types of fat: unsaturated fat, which include polyunsaturated fats and monounsaturated fats, as well as saturated fat, and finally trans fats. Dietary fat is critical to support our metabolism, brain and central nervous system health, as well as cell signaling, immunity, hormone production, and the absorption of our fat-soluble vitamins. Most foods all contain a mix of these different fats that I've listed. For instance, nuts and seeds are usually higher in unsaturated fats, but they do contain a little saturated fat. Choosing foods that emphasize unsaturated fats and minimize saturated fats are part of an eating pattern that can promote optimal health. We'll discuss this in more detail in the next slides. Here is where you can find the different types of fat. There are 2 types of unsaturated fats. Polyunsaturated fats can be found in nuts, seeds, vegetable oils like safflower, sesame, soy, corn, and sunflower oil. Monounsaturated fats can be found in avocados, olive oil, canola oil, and peanut oil. Saturated fats are found in significant amounts from animal sources, such as whole milk, cream, butter, cheese, fatty cuts of meat. Let's look at coconut and palm oil. These are actually plant sources, but unlike other plant sources, they are high in saturated fat. Trans fats have been banned from the U.S. food supply as of 2018. They were present in vegetable shortening, partially hydrogenated oils, which you would find in deep fried foods, cakes, cookies, donuts, crackers, and in margarines. However, you do not need to worry about trans fats anymore. Trans fats will not be completely gone from foods because it does occur naturally in small amounts in some animal products and is present at very low levels in refined vegetable oils. However, research tells us that these naturally occurring trans fats are not harmful, unlike the processed version which have serious health consequences. Replacing saturated fat with mono and polyunsaturated fat may help lower cholesterol and your risk of heart disease. Omega-3 fats are a type of polyunsaturated fat that has been shown to have a beneficial effect on reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke. Regular consumption of omega-3 fats help prevent blood clots, protects against irregular heartbeats, and lowers blood pressure. Sources include oils such as flaxseed, walnut, and soybean oil, nuts and seeds, especially walnuts, flaxseed, chia seeds, and hemp seeds, as well as fatty fish, mackerel, salmon, herring, and sardines. You can find out how much fat and the type of fat a food has by looking at the nutrition facts panel. First, total fat is listed, then saturated fat, and then trans fat. The remaining amount of fat is unsaturated fat, which is not listed. Remember that the percent daily values for the entire day, not just one meal or snack. It is recommended to get less than 20 grams of saturated fat per day, but this is based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Not everyone does need 2,000 calories a day. If you have a high cholesterol, your dietitian or doctor may recommend you limit saturated fat further. For example, the American Heart Association recommends 5 to 6% of your calories coming from saturated fat. There are several vitamins that are fat soluble and are absorbed along with fats in our diet. They are stored in the body and not as easily excreted as water soluble vitamins. So these are vitamins that could become toxic, unlike the water-soluble vitamins such as B vitamins. Keep in mind, fat-soluble vitamins are best absorbed with some dietary fat. For example, if you consume skim milk, in order to absorb the vitamin D and vitamin A, you will need to consume some source of fat at your next meal, such as adding a nut or seed to your cereal. Vitamin A promotes vision, maintains skin health, supports reproduction and growth. Good sources of vitamin A include liver, sweet potatoes, spinach, and carrots. Vitamin D assists in bone health growth, supports a healthy immune system, reduces inflammation, regulates blood glucose metabolism, supports heart health, plays a role in regulating our mood, reduces the risk of some colorectal cancers. Good sources of vitamin D include salmon, mushrooms, which are exposed to UV light, milk or non-dairy milk that has been fortified. Vitamin E works as an antioxidant in the body and fights free radicals. Good sources of vitamin E include sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, and peanuts or peanut butter. Vitamin K helps with blood clotting and is essential for the production of healthy bones and bone tissues. Good sources of vitamin K include dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, as well as broccoli and soybeans. Foods that are rich in fat-soluble vitamins are better absorbed with some fat, as I mentioned before. Here we have butternut squash cooked with a little butter, asparagus roasted with a drizzle of olive oil, and a sweet pairing of mango with yogurt. Be sure that the yogurt is not non-fat though. Some other examples of foods rich in vitamin A, D, E, and K include sweet potatoes, carrots, mangoes, apricots, cantaloupe, tomatoes, dark leafy greens, broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. Because these foods are naturally do not contain fat, they should be paired with some fat so your body can absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in them. This brings us to the end of our nutrition lesson, and we will now begin our culinary lesson. So let's get cooking. There are so many different forms of seeds and nuts that you can enjoy in your kitchen. Butters made from ground nuts and seeds, salted, roasted, raw, seeds and nuts. Seeds and most shelled nuts can be stored in an airtight container in a cool, dark place for about 4 to 6 months. If they are in the shell and stored properly, they can last 6 to 9 months. Keeping seeds and nuts in your fridge or refrigerator is ideal and does extend their short shelf life. Seeds and nuts have so much to offer in addition to recipes. They can add texture by adding a crunch element or even adding creaminess. They add richness to the foods you're eating. They help with that mouth feel, and they act as a bridge between sweet and savory. Here's a culinary tip. Toast or dry roast your nuts or seeds to bring out the most flavor. Simply toast them in a dry pan on your stovetop on a medium heat, or dry roast them in your oven. It takes a matter of minutes, so be careful because they can burn quickly, so do keep an eye on them. There are many ways you can use seeds in cooking. Throughout this program, we use them whole, ground, and in butter form in recipes. We also illustrate the process of how you can make some of these forms for yourself in your own kitchen. Let's take a look at the following video together to see how pesto is made with hemp seeds. Whole seeds can be added to salads or yogurt parfaits. Stir into rice or grain mixes. Used to crust proteins, such as salmon. Use in place of an egg by mixing chia or ground flaxseed with water. Add to energy bites, bars, or granola. Or used in a crunchy topping like daka, which is a Middle Eastern condiment that is a blend of herbs, spices, nuts, and seeds. Ground seeds can be used in baked goods, like adding flaxseed to pizza dough or homemade crackers, a sweet or savory topping or crust, or mixed into breadcrumbs. You can buy seeds pre-ground, but you also can grind them yourself if you have a spice grinder or a coffee grinder. Here are some examples of seed butters that you can find. Sunflower seed butter, sesame paste, also known as tahini, and pumpkin seed butter. They can be incorporated into salad dressing. They can be used as a dip for apples, fruit, crackers, veggies. You can use them as sandwich spreads or add to creamy dishes like oatmeal and overnight oats. Now we'll talk about using nuts in various forms and discuss the process of making some of these yourself in your own kitchen. You can use the whole nuts in many different ways, such as a crunchy topping for salads, spiced nuts, homemade trail mix, This makes a great snack. And as a thickening agent, like blending cashews into a creamy pureed soup. In ground or crushed form, nuts can be used as breadcrumbs or crumbles to coat a protein. It can be used in baking or in smoothies to boost up that protein. As a topping, it's terrific if you have a layer in that top layer that has something that you can cling to, such as yogurt. As mentioned, you can buy nuts pre-ground, but you can also grind them yourself in a food processor. Nut butters can be used in energy bites, sandwich spreads, smoothies, savory sauces, dips, dressings, baked goods. You can make nut butter by yourself by blending them until smooth in a food processor. Now that we've talked about seeds and nuts, let's talk about other healthy fats like oils. When deciding what oil is the best to use, there are several things to consider. First is the nutrition composition of the oil. Is the oil high in poly or monounsaturated fat or high in saturated fat? Next, what is the smoke point of the oil? That's at what temperature does the oil become too hot and start smoking? And what is the dominant flavor? For example, olive oil and coconut oil have a pretty strong flavor, whereas canola oil is very neutral. Next, how will you be using the oil? Will it be used to cook food or added to a dish after it has been cooked? Simply for flavor, or is it to add some richness? And finally, price. Price is definitely a consideration. Certain nut and seed oils can be higher in cost than others, but they can be stored in the fridge for a while and used sparingly while still providing a lot of flavor. Oil is a key ingredient in any cook's kitchen. It's used in everything from sauteing to roasting to frying to marinades and is a main ingredient in dressings and sauces. The addition of oil can help you achieve browning on protein or crispy edges on vegetables. As we covered in lesson 2, we recommend the following basic cooking oils for your kitchen: extra virgin olive oil and a neutral oil like canola oil. Be sure to reference the handout Cooking Oil Guide, which goes into more details when selecting oils. There are a lot of misconceptions about smoke point, and the latest research suggests that this is not an indicator of cooking stability. What is most important is fatty acid composition. Polyunsaturated oils are less stable when heated at high heat, meaning they will produce more free fatty acids, free radicals, when heated, whereas oils that are higher in the monounsaturated fats like olive oil, canola oil, and avocado oil remain stable. The bottom line is avoid reheating and reusing your oils. Most of these issues come when the oils have been reheated repeatedly. We're talking at least 5 times. Remember that oils, while useful in cooking, are still recommended in small amounts relative to health-promoting foods that should be the foundation of our diets, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Use them as a flavor enhancer in home-cooked meals instead of considering oils a major source of nutrients. A small amount helps with satiety as well, so do add for flavor and satisfaction, but know a little does go a long way. Your best bet is to keep a well-stocked kitchen so you can incorporate a variety of fats and oils into your cooking routine based on their functional properties. As we near this end of this lesson, let's do a little review. You'll be asked to answer these questions in the following knowledge check. What are 3 health-promoting compounds that are found in seeds? We went through quite a bit of these. Primarily, seeds have protein, fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. If you named any of those, you'd be good. What are 2 seeds you can keep in your kitchen? I can't wait to hear what you like. Seeds here are flax seeds, chia, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower, sesame seeds. What are 3 health benefits of nuts? Nuts are cardioprotective. They decrease the risk of hypertension. They decrease blood pressure and bad cholesterol. Nuts also may decrease the risk of type 2 diabetes and certain cancers. All right, finally, what type of oil is best for high heat cooking? Just covered that. It was monounsaturated. It is stable when heated, and examples of that are the olive oil and canola oil. All right, once you've completed the knowledge check, take a look at all the resources that are available to you and bring along all this information together. These resources will help support you in bringing to life what you've learned in this lesson in your own kitchen. Resources include the cooking videos, recipes, handouts, and our community chat. Once you've completed your knowledge check and reviewed all of the resources, it's time to set some SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. An example of a SMART goal for this lesson might be, I'm going to add chia seeds into my yogurt this week. All right, let's get cooking.